sadness on her face was plain to see throughout her episode. At just 5 years of age, she already weighed 150 pounds, which is around 5...
Yo, did she come out the womb overweight? Like, what kind of pussy does her mother have to be birthing something like this?
These are the 10 greatest transformations in the history of my 600-pound life, and the weight loss only gets more insane as the video goes on, starting at number 10 with Angel Parish.
I'm pretty sure this show was just like the most legal way to make fun out of fat people. Like, am I bugging out or no? It had to have been. Like, no one on this show took anything serious, bro. We just wanted to make fun out of them sitting at home, bro.
Mind-blowing transformation, looking like a completely different person by the end of it. When Angel first appeared on the show in 2015, we were introduced into a family that was reaching breaking point due to her addiction to food, as her husband admits that he's very close to leaving her and taking their child with him.
That's yuck. That's pure yuck. That's not even like...
changed. I'd probably gonna take the kid and move on.
And it was hard not to feel bad for him, as Angel was shown to seemingly be choosing food over the family, weighing in at 550 pounds and eating at any available opportunity. This is compounded with the fact that her husband is her only caregiver, and because she can't look after herself, their son barely gets to leave the house and live like a normal child due to the addictions which plague his mother.
It's really affecting him too. He doesn't get to go outside a lot because I literally cannot leave the house for very long because she's not able to take care of herself.
However, things get turned on their head slightly when Angel finally makes a decision to see Dr. Now, as Dr. calls Don, her husband, the enabler.
Do you go to a grocery store?
Don goes and does all the shopping.
So you're the enabler?
So what's she eating? Cigarettes all day or something, bro? Why the hell does her voice even sound like that, bro? That's not even like, what the hell? Look, spin the block.
Goes and does all the shopping.
So you're the enabler.
This shared blame seemed to wake the pair up, and it caused Angel to embark on one of the toughest journeys she will ever have to experience. But with the backing of her family, she was out to surprise everyone. Dr. Now gave her a strict diet at home and the objective to lose 50 pounds at home in order to be considered for weight loss surgery. And although it was difficult, the vision of her young son finding her not breathing one day helped to motivate her. And this motivation clearly worked, as she completely blew past the 50-pound mark and lost a staggering 165 pounds when she next met Dr. Now, who was more than happy to see her.
You lost some weight, huh?
Yes, sir.
Can you believe that?
That's amazing, isn't it?
Angel was approved for weight loss surgery, which was successful, but instead of sitting around, she pushed herself even more, and the added confidence meant that she was actually able to...
Oh, see, now she looks a lot better. She's still a big one, but yeah, this is crazy work.
To the gym with her husband.
She's about to get slimmer than her husband.
In the gym, the weight quite literally fell off her. She was finally able to take care of her son the way he deserved to be cared for, and it was only going to get better from here.
Beautiful.
After a year of training, she had successfully lost more than 300 pounds in total, more than halving her weight since she first appeared on the show.
In a year.
There, with her now looking like
Yo, if I lost that much, I would be dead.
Since her episode
aired.
And this was the same for Diana Bunch, who attracted Reddit posts complimenting her with how young she looks since her episode aired. Appearing in season 5 of the show in 2017, Diana was 55 years old and weighed 601 pounds. She had a crippling food addiction which started at the age of just 11 years old, and it was for a genuinely heartbreaking reason, as she revealed that she was abused by 2 older boys. Since that incident, her weight spiraled out of control, and she now feels like a prisoner in her own body. Although her entire body is painful, her legs are by far the worst affected area, as they are covered by sores and ulcers as a result of her lymphedema.
Oh my god, I wasn't even looking! Lymph for who? What is this? Is this the baby's leg? Oh, that's actually so...
cared for
Whoa.
like an invalid.
Although the last 55 years have been filled with pain
that's nasty,
anguish,
bro. You know what her legs look like? Her legs kind of look like them little sea creatures you find at the bottom of the ocean. You know them man there, the ones that are all crusty and shit. That looks like the moon. You could replicate the moon landing on her leg, bro. I'm not even trolling. Like, I'm not even doing the most. I'm just saying.
The last 55 years have been filled with pain and anguish. She decided enough was enough and decided to make the move to Houston to join the weight loss program under Dr. Now. And it's safe to say this was probably the best decision of her life. Although there were some difficulties in getting her to Houston due to the fact she hadn't been in a car for a number of years, her niece helped her out a tremendous amount throughout her journey, and she met with Dr. Now.
It's been a few weeks since I moved to Houston and had my first doctor's appointment, and I've been working to stay on this diet. It hasn't been easy though. Megan has been making all the food we eat.
Dr. Now put her on a 900-calorie high-protein diet, and although this seemed daunting to Diana,
oh my god, 900 calories. Yo, bro, I could eat that in one flipping meal. You're telling me she has to eat that for the whole day? Oh, nah, that's serious detrimental excessive baggage that she's got going on.
That she was actually highly disabled due to her weight spurred her on. She really took to this diet too, swapping out fast food to whole foods and making more healthy choices throughout the day. Despite this though, she was initially not approved for weight loss surgery after she only lost 44 pounds in 3 months.
She still didn't make as much progress that she should have. So you're not approved for surgery at the moment.
Okay.
To hear this from Dr. now must be totally devastating for any patient, but it especially hurt Diana after all of the perceived effort that she'd put in.
This just make you go harder.
Disguise, as she finally started to take the program seriously. In the following months, she did eventually start to lose weight, dropping to 494 pounds before Dr. now finally approved her for weight loss surgery.
So I will approve you for weight loss surgery, but only if your family agreed to stay here in Houston.
Since then, she's managed to shed over 400 pounds and looks 20 years younger than what she used to look like.
Yeah, she looks way younger, bro.
On someone's appearance.
That is so nasty, though. I don't know, like when they're like really big and they go slim, they have all the excess, like, you know, all the blubber and all that. Like, that's not even pregnancy blubber. That's straight, it's blubber.
So
bro.
but pulled out of it due to not wanting to attract any more drama in her life, as she seemingly finally found peace. The next star, though, was not afraid of drama, after he and his brother actually sued the producers behind My 600 Pound Life, despite the doctors helping him to turn his life around. At number 8 is Benji Bolton, who appeared alongside his brother.
When did we get to number 8? I thought we was only on 3.
David in season 6, and together they weighed a staggering 1,300 pounds, with Benji alone weighing 582.
The last time I had my weight checked, I was in the lower 500s. So I figure that's the range I'm in.
Benji weighed less than his brother, who at this point was practically
immobile,
only being able to stand for a maximum of 1 minute. And to Benji, this was like looking into his future, as he knew that if he kept eating, he would end up exactly the same. Fans in the comment section of their episode shared just how dangerous it can be for people to stay at this weight, commenting, "So proud of these two men. I wish my brother had this good attitude about losing his weight. He was at 400 pounds and a diabetic. He passed away in 2016 from congestive heart failure due to obesity. I miss him so much." As you've probably guessed from this heartbreaking comment, the two brothers did stick to their weight loss, and thankfully avoided any serious
oh my god, look at their faces. What?
Throughout their process, with both being successfully approved for weight loss surgery. However, Benji makes the list ahead of his brother, as the transformation in his face makes him look like a completely different person and completely unrecognizable from the beginning of the episode. And the fact he lost an incredible 324 pounds, edging ahead of his brother's total by 5 pounds. Obviously, this is slightly less than Diana previously, but he takes 8th place just due to the fact he looks like a completely different man. However, like I mentioned at the start, Benji and David actually took the decision to sue the media company behind My 600 Pound Life due to placing unnecessary stress and not paying their medical bills for appearing on the show. Although David and Benji helped each other through their journey, Olivia Cruz from season 2 of the show would have a much less support.
How do you gotta pay your medical bill,
fed
bro?
her pizza and sugary drinks, despite the fact she was eventually confined to the basement of their house.
I want some pizza right now.
Situation is not healthy.
Some pizza right now.
She's in the basement. She lives down there because everything's on one floor.
Olivia admits she knows her weight is killing her, as we see her struggling to get out of bed due to her weight and severe lymphedema.
My weight is killing me.
Which, interestingly, only affects her right leg. It's very shocking to see this only affecting the one leg, and this has meant that she exists entirely in the basement of her mother's home, due to not being able to get up and down the stairs easily.
Nah, she's massaging it as well, bro. She's massaging it like it's a third leg or something, bro.
And this has meant that she exists entirely in the basement of her mother's home, due to not being able to get up and down the stairs easily. Her mother does most things.
I didn't know fat people had like scars and them and there, bro, them burns and shit. That she looks like she got dragon scales on her leg. This is
bringing her
crazy,
McDonald's, sorting
bro.
her oxygen tank out, and everyday tasks. The reason for her weight gain is similar to Diana's, and that's caused by the trauma of being abused when she was 8 years old, something which she kept secret for the next 30 years, ending up with her ballooning in weight in order to deal with the emotions.
I started putting on weight in elementary school. A lot of it had to do with bullying and molestation. I was molested at 8. I kept that secret until I was 40.
She actually had previously undergone weight loss surgery too, which in her own words didn't work, as she ended up back in the same place.
I don't care what your story is, bro. Get that removed off your leg, bro. Oh my, I can't look at that no more, bro.
5'78". I was like, wow, how can you get to that weight, you know?
Really and truly, this is so sad.
Didn't work. I know they tell you that you have to put effort, But I gave up on life. I just gave up on myself.
But the only difference now is that she's utterly
Stop
depressed,
putting it on the screen.
Her own life. It's a really heartbreaking situation, but Olivia finally decided enough
wow,
was enough and
man.
met with Dr. Now, who revealed her weight was 580 pounds. Dr. Now was actually concerned her depression might get in the way of her progress, but Olivia was determined not to throw away this opportunity to change her life. And she didn't waste this opportunity either, as she was approved for weight loss surgery and she got down to 360 pounds midway through her journey, and it would only get better from here. She continued her hard work and lost even more weight, which was almost 400 pounds in total, which completely changed her life around and even allowed her to get a job as a chef.
My biggest dream has been to become a chef.
I wouldn't put her in the kitchen like that, because she's got tendencies and them and there. But I hear it though. This is great.
For other people.
Although she obviously lost a ton of weight, the biggest difference was in her mood, as her mental health dramatically improved after she seemingly found purpose in her life again. She not only lost a tremendous amount of weight, she made something of herself. And this is why she's in number 7 on our list, with Britney Fulfur also having a noticeable change in her mood, with her being given the unofficial title of one of the most loved stars in the series. Britney Fulfur appeared in season 4 of the show, and if you watched my previous video on the most loved and the most hated stars, you'll already know about her and her famous heartwarming smile and personality. But it didn't start out like that, with Britney admitting to feeling disgusted by her own body and being in pain every second of every day at the start. To make matters worse, she has a husband who, despite being the one to feed her, is starting to resent her due to the fact they are practically housebound.
I mean, he's as big as her. What the hell does he mean resent her? Look at him. This guy, I've never seen, bro, he has Saturn's ring just chilling around his stomach. What is that, bro? And they're eating pizza. Do they have one pizza each? Because look, that's an extra large pizza right there. Listen, I'm a pizza investigator, right? This one right above me, yeah, this one right here. That thing there, extra large pizza. And then they got more like Saturn in there. And then they got a whole garlic bread thing, and they're just fucking that up, man.
Found together. However, fans of the show weren't exactly happy with the husband, with one comment saying he's not far behind her and he's feeding her. They're like two drowning people pulling each other down. Very sad. This was putting strain on not only their relationship, but their health, considering that she was only 32 years old and was already putting her life at serious risk. When she met Dr. Now, she weighed in at over 600 pounds, which seemed to be the wake-up call for her, as her face showed genuine shock when she stepped off the scales. Her eyes were filled with tears as she was obviously trying not to cry when she spoke to the doctor. And although she was upset, she won the hearts of fans over by sharing her emotions throughout the show and being a genuine person. And fans were right to place their trust in Britney, as she embarked on what can only be seen as one of the greatest transformations on the show. Although the weight loss wasn't done overnight and there were some bumps in the road where she weighed more than expected, she didn't let this affect her goal.
I have to have lost the 40 pounds the doctor needed me to get approved. Everything I've done has to have been enough.
Maybe 570.
After she had the weight loss surgery, she stepped on the scale for a final time, weighing 272 pounds.
Bro, it's mad to me how they look afterwards, bro. Look. That's a regular human being's face. That's a normal human being's face. Not that thing that we seen earlier. Not that. This is normal.
Believed she would reach her target weight of 160 pounds in the next few months, but this weight loss obviously filled Britney with pride, and her famous heartwarming smile made one final appearance in Dr. Now's office. Since the show, Britney has welcomed a baby into the world of her husband, and her self-confidence has obviously skyrocketed, which is the reason she takes number 6 in our list. And number 5 has a very similar story, with her self-confidence taking a similar trajectory to Britney's. Amber Rashley had one of the most heartbreaking stories on the show, and the sadness on her face was plain to see throughout her episode. At just 5 years of age, she already weighed 150 pounds, which is around 5.
Yo, did she come out the womb overweight? Like, what kind of pussy does her mother have to be birthing something like this? What do you mean? How is she as big as man? Yeah? Or close to being as big as man, basically as big as me, and she's 5 years old. I didn't get my numbers up.
The weight of a normal 5-year-old. Her parents, even though they clearly enable Amber to live this lifestyle and to get so large, call Amber names behind her back to the cameras and don't seem to understand the mental anguish she is experiencing.
All of a sudden, she doesn't want to work, she doesn't want to diet, and she got depression. I didn't understand.
She always felt like she didn't live up to our expectations, and she was always a disappointment to us.
I see a lot of pity in my mom's face when she looks at me. Mostly, I think she's just sad for me, and I can't handle that.
Amber feels like she's at breaking point with her family and her boyfriend, who is understandably very frustrated and worried. Her boyfriend takes her around and actually slams the door on her to make sure she's fitting into the car, which is clearly an embarrassing moment caught on the cameras. She is almost immobile due to her weight, but it seems like the real reason she wants to lose weight is to have a normal life with her boyfriend after they revealed goals to get married. This unconditional love from her boyfriend is commendable, and Amber was determined to not let it be in vain as she took on the daunting challenge to lose weight. At 23 years old, she weighed a staggering 657 pounds, which at 5'3" must be one of the highest weight to height ratios ever. But she did
I can't even speak. I'm bewildered right now, bro. I've never even used that word in my life, bro. Oh my, this is an outstanding phenomenon that I've just witnessed, bro. Are you me?
157 pounds, which at 5'3" must be one of the highest weight to height ratios ever. But she didn't let this stop her, and really did seem to use this shock as motivation to change her life. Shaun of Steel's episode on Amber was titled Amber Low Self-Esteem, and this was apparent throughout her journey, as she was actually hospitalized at one point due to her anxiety causing too much stress on her body. Despite the challenges, she pushed through, with her family and her boyfriend supporting her, who she was always massively appreciative of. Once she changed her mindset from seeing herself as worthless to actually someone worth saving is where the true transformation begins. The weight dropped off throughout her journey and was accelerated by the surgery. 1 year into her journey, she had lost 267 pounds, which allowed her to get skin removal surgery. But not just that, she was actually able to leave the house and go and enjoy her life, such as going on an outdoor date with her boyfriend. Since the show, her natural beauty really has shone through, and she continues to post on her Instagram and gain comments in the community calling her an inspiration, which places her firmly at 5th place in our list. And Chuck Turner from season 2 takes 4th place, just due to the sheer amount of weight he lost throughout the show. However, he isn't exactly popular, as fans have called him selfish, greedy, and unmotivated. Chuck has definitely had a difficult life up till now, with his first wife actually being murdered and Chuck's weight spiraling out of control.
This would make a grown man get fat. I agree with this one right here. That's something no one should ever witness. My thing is, yeah, I want to be gone before anyone I know is gone. You know what I'm saying? If they go before me, it's the circle of life. Them man there, it's a circle of life, and them man there, I hear it. Your wife? You know how hard it is to find another thing. Like, you already made that one your wife. That's like...
Since this incident. When we first meet him, he's almost 700 pounds, living with his new wife Nissa, who lives more of a servant life to him and their adopted young son. Chuck is clearly ashamed of his weight, as when Chuck and Nissa first met, he didn't even get out of the truck to greet her, due to the shame of his obesity.
When I met Chuck, he was around 600 pounds. He was very shy and didn't want to get out of the truck and introduce himself properly because of his size.
Despite this though, Nissa took a chance on him, which many fans view as a mistake, with one commenter saying she married him out of pity. Despite this, Chuck still wanted to change and
2006 Bitcoin right there.
Try and save his
or 2013 Bitcoin. I can't remember which date it was, or it was so low.
£693 and begged for the doctor to do weight loss surgery. Despite this though, as soon as he left the office with the goal to lose weight to be approved for surgery, they went straight to a deep fried seafood meal. You'd think that with all this in mind, Chuck would be unsuccessful and go down the same road as James King, who's featured in my previous videos and will probably appear in a future video on my 600 pound life. So make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of my new 600 pound life uploads, and you can help me get to 100.
This guy only makes 600 pound live videos. That's so. I'd be so if they copyrighted all his videos. That would be like
subscribers by the end of the year. Surprisingly though, Chuck would actually be successful in his weight loss initially, losing 30 pounds and instantly being approved for weight loss surgery. In a shocking scene, after his wife had waited for almost an entire day in the hospital while he had the surgery, when she was about to leave, he got upset at her.
You leaving me?
You're gonna be fine.
Some wife you are.
Control.
Let's go ahead and go.
Marvin.
Yeah. Go. Let's get out of here.
And this attitude stayed with Chuck throughout the entire weight loss journey, and despite him
she
losing hundreds of pounds midway through his journey, he continued to mistreat his wife and not help her doing basic chores. This culminated in month 6, with him losing almost 200 pounds. The day you probably expected to come earlier came, and Nissa served Chuck their divorce papers.
Yeah, good on you.
I can't go on because I don't have insurance. Only the doctor.
I'm talking about in it.
The way he
She's a better woman than me. If I was a woman, she would have got hit with that G19 stitchy.
The acting throughout his episode was shocking to say the least. But
talking to me, I'm trying to help you raise our kid, bro.
In the show's history, eventually dropping to 433 pounds, which is one of the biggest in terms of sheer amount of weight lost. And at third place is Melissa Morris, who was by all accounts one of the kindest stars to appear on the show. So it was no surprise when she achieved her weight loss. Fans were ecstatic for her, but unfortunately, her story did not have a happy ending. Melissa appeared on season 1 of the show and was one of the fan favorites from the beginning of her episode, as she clearly had a good work ethic and a sheer determination to change her life around. Her starting point wouldn't be easy though, as she was 31 years old and weighed 650 pounds. Despite this, fans quickly noticed just how kind of a human being she was, willing to change her life around so she could fulfill her dream of having kids. Melissa is the one person I've always rooted for with the show. I wish they would do another follow-up for her. Her husband was a POS though, and this statement was true, as her husband was actually found to be cheating on her throughout the show. Despite this, she
I mean, can you blame him? Dukes can't even have kids with her, bro.
On her weight loss journey and was actually the first ever patient to be covered meeting Dr. Now, and she was one of the most successful. From the 650 pounds she started at, she managed to drop down to 150 pounds, losing 500 pounds in total. She was so proud of her weight loss that she was actually featured on a news program to show off the transformation, even showing the old pants that she used to wear. She genuinely seemed happy on this program, but behind the scenes was a different story. As she revealed on her Where Are They Now episode, she actually left her husband, but then got back together with him. After 10 years of
Your first mistake.
Following Melissa, it seems like she'd spiraled back into her old habits after staying in a strained relationship and going back up to 275 pounds. Despite this tough ending, the initial weight loss of 500 pounds is enough for her to land third on our list. If you're interested in her life, she's still active on Instagram, which is the same as the patient in second place, who achieved an even more insane transformation than Melissa, and was able to keep the weight off. Justin McWain is one of the hardest workers ever to appear on the show, and he takes the second spot on our list for good reason. He appeared in season 7 of My 600 Pound Life, and fans were quick to show their love for not just him, but his father too. And it's truly heartwarming to see just
his dad seems like a real
his son. And he really needed help, as he's shown at the start of his episode eating himself into an early grave, spending most of his time face down on his
He don't seem that big though.
He can get his hands on, as he struggles to deal with
what the Whoa.
His mental health issues. At one point, he almost has a panic attack in front of the cameras after receiving the wrong car from a rental company, which shows just how fragile his mental health really is.
I'm trying really hard not to spiral and have a panic attack, but I'm
trying really hard. Oh my god. It's like, bro, are you a female? Or is my like camera been like the other way this whole time? Fairs. So basically it looked like I was looking at like
beyond my limit at this point.
Okay.
When he first met Dr. Now, he was close to 700 pounds, and in the
so
first
I was
2
looking
months
the wrong way this whole
surgery,
time.
lost 102 pounds, which is an absolutely incredible effort, and more than some patients lose in an entire year. And he didn't stop there. After his father moved to Houston to help Justin with his journey, the weight started to melt off. With his improved diet and increased physical exercise, which included going to the gym alone, which is a huge achievement for someone with his mental state and self-esteem issues, he pulled off one of the greatest transformations we have ever seen. Each time he saw Dr. Now, he would lose weight, losing hundreds of pounds between meetings and truly showing off his humble nature and can-do attitude. By the end of his journey, Justin weighed just over 300 pounds, which is an astonishing achievement. Losing around 400 pounds in total. He got a tattoo to commemorate the journey, and his father asked to get the exact same tattoo in a show of true father-son love.
I told you his dad is a real ass N-word, bruv. Did I not tell you? I knew that he was like that, bro.
Here in a conference, talking
probably
about just how much
but
weight
I'll allow him for now.
Weight loss surgery has made an incredible difference on my life, but one of the most important lessons I've gotten out of it is that it really is just a tool.
And alongside him is Christina Phillips, who undeniably achieved the greatest transformation on My 600
I'm not gonna lie, you can tell that she looks decent when she's skinny.
Pound life, but it was not an easy road for her. Christina appeared in season 2 of the show and actually had a rough start to her weight loss journey.
I can't even drink water. I feel sick looking at these
people. Where she weighed 639 pounds. She was set the goal to lose 30 pounds. However,
this is really investing in. This is 2013
Bitcoin, a great start.
Here.
However, Dr. Now had some harsh words for Christina and her family, which you think would put her on the right track, but Dr. Now would soon be proven wrong.
A hamburger and a couple fries. I didn't finish the fries. I had like 3 slices of pizza and like.
Yeah, hamburger, couple of fries. I didn't finish the fries though. Man didn't finish the fries though. 3 slices of pizza. Bro, are you gonna slide in the 3 slices of pizza like it was nothing? Excuse me?
And a couple fries. I didn't finish the fries. I had like 3 slices of pizza the night that we got in.
Pizza is not part of your diet when you're 700 pounds. Granted, they hand you all those food, but you're gonna have to say no.
She was eventually placed into the hospital.
You're gonna have to say no. What is that? What was that?
But because she didn't like the hospital food, her family would actually bring her fast food to binge on while she was fighting for her life. After a month in the hospital, she had only lost 4 pounds. Dr. Now took notice and called the family out, and what happened next would shock everybody. Further through the episode, Christina finally woke up and took the diet seriously. She was eventually approved for weight loss surgery, which accelerated her weight loss to the point where she weighed 390 pounds by the end of her episode, bringing her total weight loss to 266 pounds. But it doesn't end there, and the true transformation was on the Where Are They Now episode, where she showed the real end of her transformation. Christina was shown in this episode to weigh 160 pounds, which, as Dr. Now said, was actually too skinny for her height, and she had actually lost too much weight, which has got to be the first and only instance of someone being too skinny on the show.
See, she don't look bad, bro. I'm not saying that I would I'm not saying that I would touch this, but she looks,
completing her transformation.
See, that's how she's supposed to look.
To this. Not all of the patients on this list
crazy.
are the most
That might be
but some of the
2013
patients
Bitcoin.
to say Dr. Now have been downright disgusting.
Yeah, shut up, man. Anyway, yeah, that was really 2013 Bitcoin. I can't lie. From what she went like this thing here. Look, from this to this, yeah, that's a decent investment. I can't lie.